I am so sorry, guys. I'm gonna record this again. Um, the first recording I will put at the end of this episode. Um, it's just hard to see. It's hard to hear. I wasn't recording into the microphone. I have this receiver plugged into the phone for my little Bluetooth mic, and my mic was on my lap, and I was holding the phone up to my mouth. Um, just not thinking clearly, and was recording. Um, but anyways, I'll keep that. Towards the end, I kind of figured out that I was recording uh opposite. Um, and I picked up the mic, but I just wasn't thinking clearly. Sorry about that. But let me record it again as best as I can, and if I missed anything, it'll be in that the second segment, but it's basically the original recording. Um, so if we're looking back at those bad examples, the bad product, the bad service we're offering, and the bad product we're offering, we could improve those. So, two questions that are good to ask yourself early on. Not the only questions, but two questions that are good to consider. Number one, who am I selling to? You need to know the who. Now, you need to know a lot of details about who, but you want to know the avatar in general for who. But let's just keep it easy. We don't need age ranges, genders, all that kind of stuff at the moment. Let's skip all that. Let's just say there's going to be a general who. And then on top of who, you want to know what it is that you're offering that is benefiting these people. What do you have to offer that's better or different or valuable compared to what someone else is already offering? I mean, other people provide services for writing blog articles. That's not out of the norm, right? Other people sell t-shirts. That's not out of the norm, right? So, for the service example, if you're going to write blog articles for people, let's take my friend for that example again. This website, bestblogger.com. He's already writing a blog that's doing well in nursing, and he knows nothing about blogging, but he's just writing, right? What he's going to need to learn are best practices for blogging based on which platform he's writing on. Is he using Medium? Is he using Blogger? Like, where are these blogs, WordPress, where are these articles going to be posted? He needs to learn about SEO. He needs to learn about keywords. He needs to learn about tags, H1 tags, different types of tags. He needs to learn about headings. He needs to know about images or videos or podcast episodes or media to put in the blog post to embed in there. If he's doing it, maybe the other people who he's selling the articles to, maybe they're doing it. And maybe he has found his target avatar, which is people who are also in nursing. Maybe he's able to find other people who are teaching nursing students, right? So he can write blog articles for these people who are teaching nursing students. So who teaches nursing students other than other nurses? Tutors, um, different kind of professors, um, those types of people, you know, or just people who write about the healthcare field, maybe even mental health, um, private practice doctors. Maybe they need some, information for nursing students too, because maybe they sponsor certain students or something. So maybe they need information to provide to some of their students. Maybe they supervise these students or something. So maybe they're combining material for those students. Maybe they have a certain link for those students with educational material and they need blog articles. These doctors don't want to write the blogs. These program directors don't want to post blog articles. These tutors just want to tutor. They don't want to write blogs, but maybe they all have a blog and they just don't want to write it. They would hire my friend, right? This would be a good uh, type of person to sell these services to. Um, how to find these people, we can talk about that more, but um, once you know who you're selling to, it's easier to kind of tailor, right? Now, this blog article writer service example is better than the vague one where there's just bestblogger.com where you're writing about whatever the heck, you know, posting up your services wherever the heck. You don't have a certain type of person that you're reaching out to, just anyone who wants blog articles. You're not even going in a certain direction asking them, right? You see where I'm getting at? And then let's leave it at that. But I mean, I would say you're providing a good service um that other people want. They want to know how to pass these exams. They want to know how to get into nursing and be successful as a nurse, like my friend has been. They want to know these things, so they would take information from somebody who has done it, done well, and is doing well now. People will hire someone to blog for them who has done it, is doing it, and doing well now with blogging. If they see you're already doing well with blogging, you can prove that you're doing well with blogging. You have screenshots that show that you've made money on your blog, that you're in the ambassador program on your own Medium blog that's already writing about nursing from the beginning. Before you even started offering your services, you were able to make money. You already got traffic. You already know what within the niche is popular. You already know skills that you can add value. All of these other people who are trying to teach these students, these nursing students, would find that information very valuable. You could even bundle it, like my friend could even bundle it. He could make it so that not only is he nursing, writing blog articles about nursing, but maybe he's now writing articles, or maybe he's now consulting with other students who want materials. Maybe he's able to create materials for students. And so now he's not only selling his blog articles services, he's now selling to certain students too. If they want a study guide for the NCLEX, if they want an interview guide for certain universities where he has friends who have interviewed at these universities and gotten in, and they're able to give video experience information about what it was like for them. Okay, I went in, I parked here, I went to this professor's office and I talked to this person and there was this board and this panel and blah blah blah. People would pay a lot for that information. And maybe he has it and he can consult with these students. They could also buy his students could buy his consulting materials and maybe like $50 for a 30-minute phone call where they could ask him questions about their resume or cover letter or statement of purpose or whatever it may be. This would be a good service, right? You could see how somebody could make that work for a business for themselves. they'd probably easily make their first $20, $50, $100, $500, $1,000. Now let's go to. Actually, I'm gonna separate these episodes. I'm gonna talk about the t-shirt example in its own separate segment because I'm trying to keep these pretty short. All right, guys. So let's talk some strategies here. Once you figure out your niche, you figure out what you're selling, product or service. Um, what you want to do is ask yourself, you want to know who you are selling to. So let's keep these two examples, the blog and the t-shirt, or not the blog and the t-shirt, the blog content writing service and the t-shirt product. Two separate things. One's a service, one's a product. Two separate pieces. One's providing you a service, writing content for your blog. One's providing you a service, providing you with cool looking floral t-shirts. How do you think one would go about selling? I mean, first place to really ask, thing to really ask is, who am I serving or who am I servicing, and what kind of problem is my whatever I'm selling, what kind of problem am I solving in that niche? I mean, if you think about blog content writing, say you pick a niche. Let's go back. Let's go back to the nursing, right? Say if my friend who had that nursing blog was able to help other people who want to write nursing blogs. Pretty sure he wouldn't have a hard time finding, and finding in that niche people who want his services. Because if people are already flocking to his services, his blog, because it's already a niche that people are in high demand, wanting to have information about how to pass and get into the field, people are already finding his content and loving it as it is, or it's just passing it around to other students and it spreads like wildfire around a couple of universities. People who know other people all sharing that information. These are students who want to be in, nursing. They want to pass. They want to become nurses. But he's not selling information. He's giving that away for free. But he could sell the information about how to write a successful, not really how to write a successful blog, but he could sell his blog posts. But he could do that too. He could sell maybe a course about how to write a successful nursing blog. He could also sell individual blog posts about nursing. Say he offers a bundle, 5 posts about nursing school for your tutoring. Maybe he's marketing to tutors, people who tutor nursing students, teachers who have nursing students, and he's creating, independent um, teaching sites. He's providing this information. So that's the who, and then like either teachers or tutors who are, interested in blogging about nursing. He could easily write blog posts for these people. So he's already doing it. He's already ranking it. He's already doing it. I don't know. He's not doing it right now, but I'm just saying he's already doing it. He's already ranking it. He shouldn't have a problem doing it for other people. Now, he's going to need to know which keywords he's going to use. He's going to need placement of keywords. He's going to need to understand hyperlinks. He's going to need to put photos or videos or stock photos, videos, um, podcast episodes, worksheets, whatever it is he wants to post. Um, he could do that to make it stronger, or the people, the tutors or the teachers could add that content to his blog post once he gives them the written content. He's going to need to know about formatting, what are best practices for formatting, the spacing. And most people don't really want to read a blog that has like a whole lot of condensed small font that's like the same color as the background. The font's barely the same and it's really small and crammed together, like 8 font. It's like single spacing and super tiny, you know, gray color font on a black background or something like that where you can't really read it too good. Like that probably won't do super well. You got to think about things like that, having 1 or 2 sentence paragraphs, the headings, learning how to use headers, H1, H2, know, um, just knowing what you're doing in general. I'd say that would be a good first step. He would do well. That would be a business that he could launch with some work or a little bit of word of mouth. I think if somebody wanted to launch a service like that to get their first sales on a blog for like, let's say you want to make your first $100 or even your first $50, and if he's pricing it at $5 a post or $5 a blog post or article, I guess rather, because he's not technically posting them, but if he's charging $5, I think you do well, don't you? You could see how that would do well. He's already got people in his court. He might not need too much to market himself. He might do fine just by word of mouth. He might be able to go on University Tutor, if it still exists, or LinkedIn, find these other people who are already blogging and, or people who are looking for um, bloggers. He can search for people who are looking for nursing bloggers and potentially find work, you know, doing that. $5 a post or $30 an hour or whatever it is he wants to charge. Usually, I think people charge by word count, but he could do it however he wants. I think that would do better than the first example where it's like, who the heck knows what's happening with that? You know, um, bestblogger.com, and somebody trying to sell their blogging services. They want to write blog posts for you, but it's just random stuff too. That could still do really well, but it's like if you don't really have any other social media backing it, if you don't have proof that you started a blog and it did well, it's really going to be hard. Let's go to the other example, t-shirts. Oh yeah, let me say one more thing. For the first example, that guy might not need a Shopify store to sell his services. He might do fine with Upwork or Fiverr or Medium or some other way to create maybe like a landing page. I don't think you really need Shopify necessarily. I don't think that would be like the absolute best program, especially for the amount of money that it costs after 3 months after that trial. If you get that trial, you're paying $39 a month. So if somebody's making $50 a month, paying $39 a month, that's a lot of money. I would say that's probably not the best idea. It's not the worst platform to use, but I do feel like it's a little expensive. That's just my opinion. It's a little expensive for beginners, and then because there's like that cold aspect to it, you still need to have, usually you need to have some kind of social media presence or some kind of like audience to market that website to. And so if you don't already have a social media presence, unless you're handing out business cards or like posting your links all over the place or providing content and, you know, posting on Twitter and being like, oh, check out my blog post on this and like engaging with other content online to get people to check out your information, share it around, it's going to be kind of hard, but it's not impossible. I've seen it work. Say that you're selling this. Go back to the t-shirts, right? Let's talk about that bad t-shirt example where somebody doesn't know what they're doing. They're running up a foam and floor t-shirt store. How can we make this better? You know, how can we make it better? They want to know, if we're just looking at those questions, um, who are we marketing to and what problem are we solving? Um, Maybe I don't want to give like a dark example. I don't, but maybe this is a hopeful example, because I'm talking about, the first kind of questions that are good to ask. They're not the only important questions, but we got to start somewhere. So that's the style of thinking. Who needs these services and what's the problem I'm solving for them? So let's say, I don't know, but I think it would be, I don't really like trying to capitalize off other people's grief, but also turn it around to something more positive. So let's say, with the unfortunate, disaster that occurred um, in Hawaii. Let's say, they have an official flower or some kind of designs of leis, flower leis. Um, you could use those types of prints. Say that your say that your Shopify T-shirt store is actually um, half of the proceeds go to help in Hawaii, and you will donate that money to, I don't know, let's call it a specific homeless shelter that is providing good services. Half of every t-shirt sale goes to that shelter. You're just going to Venmo them the money or put it on their GoFundMe page or whatever, and you're going to show proof of it. You'll give people a tax, what do you call it? Like for the tax write off, you'll give them proof that they've donated. So I think if someone put up a store like that, it could potentially do all right, maybe. Um, so I do feel like something like that would go all right, or potentially, at least you get traffic. Even if nobody liked your stuff, I think if you try to promote something like that cold, because I don't know if trend is the right word, but it is somewhat, a hot topic, a trend, um, in the sense that it is an urgent situation, that would be solving a problem where these people need aid, need help. The places that are providing the resources, they really need, um, they're really trying to help people. Um, but anywhere that's a resource usually needs more. They need more support. They need more money. They need more. So maybe you could sell them to people who are doing well in Hawaii. Maybe that would be a market of who. Maybe you could sell it to people who don't live in Hawaii, who want to donate. that would be a good market of who. And the problem that you're solving, or at least, um, half of the money is going towards solving, you'd probably have to increase the price of the shirt. Say if the price of a shirt would normally be, let's say, $25, maybe you could sell them for $50 or something like that. If you still needed that profit off of the $25. Um, and that's like the fifth vehicle that's gone past today. Just right now, I'm not even talking about earlier. There's got to be something going on, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, say um, if you were legit gonna do that, you might be able to get some kind of traffic. It wouldn't matter what your store's name is. Um, if you're marketing to people who care, they might buy those shirts. And then you have to make sure you send that money. You got to make sure you donate that money. You can't lie about stuff like that, but um, you'd still get sales on your end too from that. You'd probably profit off of it somehow. Um, but I think that could potentially do well. Um, if we're talking about improvements on that previous bad example, you might not need a whole lot of social media to promote that, but if you had an Instagram page, an ad that you could run off TikTok, um, and you were engaging on Instagram, adding people regularly, people that had something to do with Hawaii. Um, Goodness, this is number 6. What is happening? But yeah, if you had something like that going on, you could probably make some sales. I wouldn't doubt that you could probably run up a store to sell shirts like that. I would say that you could probably get some sales on, blogging services like that, like the way I mentioned earlier. I could see that potentially working, or at least people having interest in it. And especially if you have proof, reviews, those help. Whenever you're providing a service showing specific results, so if you had other monetary results that you got from other people where it shows monetary, like a monetized site, like through Medium, maybe you wrote on a site on Medium and it shows the stats and how much money you got. If you ranked into the ambassador program, that means that you had a following, or at least a certain amount of readers coming to your blog. And then if you were able to make money from there and, screenshot some of those results that you got with the times of, like, maybe it took you 2 months to start making money on Medium on your blog about nursing. Um, that would show other people who write about nursing that how to do that. Maybe you could also offer consulting services about, SEO for their blog, or, a different type of bundle. Same with t-shirts. Maybe you could offer other types of items, important items. Um, you know, People could buy stuff for people uh in Hawaii, like um I don't know, maybe like freeze dried packets of food. Like, how people go like hiking or camping and they get those freeze dried foods from uh like those MREs, those meals ready to eat. Say Say that's what people got. 7. This is like the 7th one. Sorry, this is too distracting for me. But those would be improvements. Those that would look like minor improvements. Those would be some of the first questions you could ask, see if those methods would work, and that would be a good start compared to the other examples. That those are bad starts.